Professor Pierre Dubois, a man of numbers and maps, found himself in an impossible situation. Lost in the Amazon following a map no one else believed, he stumbled upon a shimmering portal. It pulsed with an energy he could feel in his very core. Driven by an insatiable curiosity, Professor Dubois stepped through. The world that greeted him was unlike anything he'd ever imagined. Towers touched the sky, crafted from a material that hummed with energy. Vehicles, sleek and silent, glided through the air. Gone were the sounds of nature, replaced by a symphony of whispered technology. Disoriented, he wandered until he encountered them, the inhabitants of this wondrous city. Tall and graceful, their eyes shimmered with an intelligence that both intimidated and fascinated him. They spoke in tones that resonated deep within him, though their words were initially incomprehensible. Yet, as he observed their movements, studied the subtle shifts in their expressions, Professor Dubois, the man of logic and reason, began to understand. He was not in a different land, but a different reality, built on principles far exceeding the limits of his world's understanding. The city, as Professor Dubois came to learn, was called Lumina, a beacon of knowledge in the vast expanse of the cosmos. Its inhabitants, the luminaries, dedicated themselves to the pursuit of understanding and the betterment of their world through the application of their advanced knowledge. They welcomed the professor, their curiosity piqued by this unexpected visitor from a less advanced reality. They studied him, their advanced instruments scanning and analyzing his every move. Professor Dubois, ever the scholar, embraced the opportunity to learn. He spent his days in Lumina, immersed in their libraries, vast repositories of knowledge that dwarfed any on Earth. He delved into their archives, witnessing holographic projections of their history, their scientific breakthroughs, their philosophical treatises. Every moment was a revelation. He learned of their mastery over energy, their ability to manipulate matter at a subatomic level, their understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. His mind, accustomed to the rigid structures of mathematics, strained to encompass these new concepts. The luminaries, he discovered, had long ago transcended the limitations of fossil fuels and atomic energy. They had harnessed the very fabric of the universe, drawing power from the ebb and flow of quantum fluctuations. Their cities were models of efficiency, powered by clean, limitless energy. Buildings drew power from the sun, the wind, and even the subtle vibrations of the planet itself. Waste was non-existent. Every discarded element meticulously recycled and repurposed. Professor Dubois witnessed firsthand the fruits of their technological prowess. He marveled at their medical advancements, their ability to heal injuries with targeted energy beams, to eradicate diseases before they could take hold. He observed their agricultural systems, hydroponic gardens that yielded abundant harvests, ensuring sustenance for all. But it was their mastery of matter that truly astounded him. They could synthesize any material, from the strongest metals to the most delicate fabrics, using a fraction of the resources his own world consumed. The very air he breathed seemed infused with the energy of their creations. As weeks turned into months, Professor Dubois found himself accepted into the luminaries' society. They recognized in him a kindred spirit, a mind hungry for knowledge and driven by a desire to understand the universe. They shared with him their most closely guarded secrets, the fundamental principles that governed their technology. They taught him the language of energy, the mathematics of matter manipulation, the philosophy of sustainable existence. Professor Dubois, the student, absorbed it all, his mind racing to keep pace with the influx of new ideas. He filled countless notebooks with equations, diagrams, and reflections, documenting everything he learned. He knew, deep down, that he could never replicate the technological marvels of Lumina in his own world. The gap in understanding was simply too vast. But he also knew that he couldn't keep this knowledge to himself. He had to find a way to use it to help his own people, to nudge them towards a better future. Section 5, The Long Road Home. The decision to leave Lumina weighed heavily on Professor Dubois. He had grown attached to this world, to its people, to its unwavering pursuit of knowledge. But the call of his own world, the world he still believed he could help, proved too strong to resist. The luminaries understood. They had witnessed his dedication, his compassion, his unwavering desire to use his knowledge for good. They knew that he would not squander the gift they had given him. With heavy hearts, they gathered around him one final time, offering him their farewells and their hopes for a brighter future for his people. They activated the shimmering portal, the gateway between their realities, and Professor Dubois stepped back into the familiar embrace of the Amazon rainforest. The transition was jarring. Gone were the shimmering towers, the whispers of advanced technology, the comforting presence of the luminaries. In their place stood the dense foliage, the cacophony of the jungle, the humid air thick with the scent of earth and decay. Section 6. Seeds of a Silent Revolution. Returning to his world, Professor Dubois found it jarringly primitive, a stark contrast to the wonders he'd witnessed. Yet, instead of despair, he felt a surge of determination. He would become a silent architect, using his knowledge to subtly guide his world towards a brighter path. He began by focusing on his area of expertise, energy. He knew he couldn't simply replicate the luminaries' advanced technologies, but he could plant seeds of inspiration. He published papers, anonymously at first, outlining radical new theories about energy generation, based on his observations in Lumina. His initial publications were met with skepticism, even ridicule. Critics dismissed his ideas as fantastical, the ramblings of a mind stretched too thin by his adventures. But Professor Dubois persisted, driven by a sense of purpose that transcended the need for recognition. He established a small, discreetly funded research laboratory, drawing on his personal fortune to acquire the necessary equipment. He recruited a handful of brilliant but overlooked students, young minds eager to explore the fringes of scientific understanding. Section 7. The City Awakens. Years passed. Professor Dubois, his hair now streaked with silver, continued his work, tirelessly pursuing every avenue of research, every flicker of inspiration from his time in Lumina. Slowly, subtly, his efforts began to bear fruit. His anonymously published papers, initially dismissed as outlandish, began to attract attention. A new generation of scientists, unburdened by the preconceptions of their predecessors, recognized the elegant logic underlying his theories. Whispers of his work spread through academic circles. His research lab, once a solitary beacon of radical thought, became a magnet for brilliant minds, drawn by the tantalizing possibility of achieving the seemingly impossible. His work on energy, inspired by the luminaries' mastery of quantum fluctuations, led to breakthroughs in renewable energy technologies. Solar panels, once bulky and inefficient, became sleek and powerful, capable of drawing vast amounts of energy from the sun. Wind turbines, redesigned based on his principles of fluid dynamics, hummed with quiet efficiency, harnessing the power of the wind. Section 8. A Legacy Unveiled. Professor Dubois, true to his nature, never sought fame or recognition. He preferred to remain in the background, guiding and inspiring, content to let his work speak for itself. But the impact of his silent revolution was undeniable. Cities around the world began to transform, embracing his energy technologies. Pollution levels dropped, skies cleared, and the planet breathed a collective sigh of relief. It was only after his passing, when his former students and colleagues gathered to celebrate his life, that the full scope of his contributions came to light. They discovered his meticulously kept journals, filled with detailed accounts of his time in Lumina, his interactions with the advanced beings, the knowledge they had shared. The world was astonished. The quiet, unassuming professor, dismissed by some as an eccentric dreamer, was revealed to be a visionary, a conduit for knowledge that had the potential to reshape civilization. Section 9. The Enduring Power of One. The story of Professor Pierre Dubois serves as a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of one individual to make a difference. He didn't possess superhuman abilities or wield vast political power. He was, at his core, a teacher, a scholar, a mind driven by an insatiable curiosity and a deep-seated desire to use his knowledge for the betterment of humanity. His journey reminds us that true progress often unfolds quietly, in the labs and classrooms, in the minds of those who dare to dream of a better future. It is a call to embrace curiosity, to challenge conventional thinking, to never stop seeking knowledge and understanding. Professor Dubois' legacy lives on, not only in the cleaner energy that powers our cities, but also in the countless minds he inspired, the future generations who will continue to push the boundaries of human ingenuity guided by his example. The seeds of change he planted, watered by his unwavering belief in humanity's potential, will continue to blossom for generations to come.